the class today. So today we are basically going to cover the topics that is introduction to .NET framework and C Sharp and the tools which we required for the programming. All right, so let me share my screen and let's start with the what is .NET framework. Yeah, just give me a second. Yeah, can you see my screen, Vivek?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Can you confirm which window you are able to see?
I'm seeing a Notepad .NET framework.
All right. Okay. Fine. Okay. Let's begin with what is .NET framework. Okay. Any idea what is .NET framework?
It's a framework usually where we build softwares which has inbuilt classes,
Hmm.
DLLs.
Yep. Yes. Okay. Let me like provide you the brief introduction about what is .NET Framework. So we can say .NET Framework is basically a software development framework. It is developed by Microsoft and that provides like a runtime environment. It's provide us like the set of libraries and the tools for building and running the application. Application can be a Windows-based application, can be a console application, can be a web application, right? So this frameworks basically includes variety of programming language as well. Like we have like C sharp, F sharp, VB.NET, right? So it's basically this framework basically provides us support the range of the application type, including a desktop, mobile, and a gaming application as well. Okay. So
Okay.
so in .NET basically there are two main components. Let me draw that. Two main component are there. Uh, One is we can say two component. One is CLR. CLR is like common language runtime. Okay, it's common language runtime. Okay, and the second one is class libraries. Basically, we said FCL. It's framework class libraries. All right, so this is like the two major component we can say. So one is a CLS, that is Common Language Runtime. So and the second one is the CLR. I mean the libraries. Okay, so what is basically CLR? CLR is basically a common language runtime, and the .NET framework, we can say it's like a CLR is responsible for managing and executing the code. So whatever we write in any language, I means to say C sharp. So CLR is basically like managing the execution of that code, right? Okay.
Mhm.
And the class libraries, we can say it's like a predefined, pre-built functionality and the classes that we use to create a wide range of applications, right? Like let's say I means to say like we have already uh, predefined library. We just need to import in our application. We can directly we can start using it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And there is one like key advantage of the .NET framework. That is like it supports variety of programming languages as well. That means the developer can choose the language that is best fit for their needs. Like we have like C sharp, F sharp, VB.NET. Let's say you are expert in the C sharp, so you can build the application using C sharp language. If you are like comfortable with the VB.NET, or maybe the project is in VB.NET, so you can also use VB.NET in space of C sharp. Okay. And another advantage of .NET Framework is it is supported by the variety of application type as well. Means like the framework libraries. The framework include libraries and tools for desktop application, for web application, mobile application, or if you want to create a gaming application, that you also can create the gaming application as well. Okay, which make it this versatile. You know, the .NET is like we can say the versatile is it is versatile application development. And there is one more like feature we can say .NET framework also provide a number of features we can say that help us to improve the security, reliability, and the performance of application. These include features such as code access, automating memory management, and there is like JIT compiler is there, which helps to improve the speed of application execution. Okay, okay. Let me give you one diagram, so I can show the further component as well. So like the .NET framework includes CLR and class libraries. Further, this CLR having, we can say CLI, CLI, and GC. And finally, we have GIT. Okay. GIT is like it's a compiler. GC is like the garbage collection, and the CLI is like common language infrastructure. Let me write the full form as well. It's common language infrastructure. Okay. And GC is like garbage collection, garbage collector. And GIT is just-in-time compiler. Okay, so this is we can say the final component maybe there are further more components. We can say that is there is CLS as well. Common language specification, CTS is there, that is common type system. So first we can you can understand this part first, right?
Okay.
Okay, so this is a common language runtime. Basically, it's a runtime environment. It's like responsible to execute the code, whatever you write in the code. CLR will like come in the picture and execute that code. CFCL or class libraries are like pre-built functionality. It's provide the flexible like pre-built functionality. You can reuse that functionality in your application. You not need to write everything from the scratch. You can just write and I mean you can call and start using it in your application. There is CLI is like common language infrastructure. Like I said, like we have .NET framework support multiple languages. Like you can say we having a C sharp, we have F sharp, VB, right? Even you can also write C++ code as well in using a .NET framework, right? So we have multiple languages. So CLI is basically providing a common language infrastructure. So like by using this CLI, you can run any language in framework in .NET framework. Okay. GC is like a garbage collector. Garbage collector means to say when you start writing a code, you start creating an instance of your classes. So maybe at some moment or at some point that the object you have created that is no longer used for you in your program. So that become a garbage. So so .NET Framework automatically execute this garbage collector GC, and it will identify which objects are not in use anymore. It just dispose from the memory. Okay. And the last one is GIT. GIT is like just in time compiler. It's a compiler. It's basically compile your code and then finally it's get executed. It's like just in time. Like you just save and execute it, compile your code in time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Any query till here?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Okay. And let me what else I can like tell more about you, the .NET framework. Okay, the versions we can say, uh, like the very first version is that is very obvious 1.0. Let me write the versions. That is 1.0. Right now we are talking about .NET framework, right? So dot 1.0 is the latest one. Sorry, the first version. So we have like 1.1, 1.2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this. So we have version 4.8. We have version 5 and more than 5 as well, like a 6 as well. So if we are talking about only .NET framework from version 1.0 to 4.8 is basically we can say it's execute only on Microsoft platform only. Okay. Like we said now, .NET is cross-platform application if you want to build, and you choose the version 4.8 um, or 4, then you cannot create a cross-platform application. If you choose framework 4.8 or less than 4.8, you can only execute that application on Windows platform only. If you want to make cross-platform application, then you need to choose this. more than 4.5, 5 or 6, right?
Mm.
Okay. And we have like uh, micros .NET Core as well. Okay.
Yeah.
This is .NET Framework. There is one more .NET Core. .NET Core is also a cross-platform application. Means to say if you want to execute, you build an application using .NET Core framework and you want to execute on Linux, you can. That is possible. If you are using .NET framework, let's say 4, 4.0, and you want to
Mm.
execute application on Linux, you can't execute it,
Okay.
right? You need to choose .NET Framework 5 or 6.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So this is like the all about what is framework. We can like if you want to like a list, it's like a what is .NET Framework? It's a platform to build platform for building application, right? What kind of application you can build? You can create a desktop apps, uh, web services, APIs, anything you want to create. It's provide like a language support. You can choose any language, C Sharp, VB.NET, F Sharp, right? It's provide you common language runtime. It's provide you the class libraries, and it's also capable for the cross-platform applications to design cross-platform application. And and one more thing, it is using a .NET framework, you can also interact with other Microsoft technologies as well. Other technologies means to say, let's say you want you create any application, a web app using .NET framework, and you want to connect this application with any database, and database is MS SQL Server.
Mm.
You can, if you want to interact with MS Office, that is also possible. So you can integrate your Microsoft base platform as well,
Mm.
Microsoft other applications as well. Okay.
Yeah.
And the finally it is like it's scalable. It's like performance is good. They provide the security features as well, like authentication and authorization and everything.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. So this is like the like overview of what is .NET Framework.
Mm.
Okay. And the next topic is C Sharp. C Sharp. Okay. Any idea what is C Sharp?
It's an object-oriented programming language.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So basically the main thing is what is C Sharp? C Sharp is basically we can say it's a high level programming language, which means that it is very closer to the human language. It is easy to understand, and like anyone can like learn quickly C Sharp, and very obvious that is object oriented. C Sharp is basically based on OOPS. Okay, that is
Mm.
object oriented programming system. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometime like if you like start searching, you will find what is C Sharp. Sometime it's they will say it's a strict object oriented language, or sometime they will use fully fully object oriented programming language, right?
Okay.
So right, strict and fully means to say like without object we cannot work in
Mm.
C sharp, like in C. C is basically a structure based language. It's not object oriented.
Yeah.
So without object, we can deal with C sharp, or without classes, we cannot do anything in C sharp. For even a
Mm,
simple program, you have to write a single class. Even your main method is also in your uh, inside the class,
mm,
right?
yeah.
So like the general in general way we can say it's a high level language. It's a fully or a strict object oriented language, right? Object oriented means we can say it's based on concept of objects that can be built that are objects are like building blocks for the codes,
Mhm.
and they help make program easy to understand, reuse, and maintain. Means like we can easily reuse the methods which we have created inside the class. We will see how we can do that. Okay. Okay. And okay, like in the .NET framework, we see we can create any. Okay, let me draw one image. We have apps, different type of apps. We have console app, desktop app, we have web app, and mobile app, right?
Mm,
We can use C sharp to design or develop any kind of application. It's a language basically.
mm,
For the .NET framework as well. .NET framework, we can use .NET framework for any kind of application. So this is we can say co-related. Framework supports C sharp, and using C sharp we can create any kind of application. Okay. And
mm.
like again, framework provide like pre-built class libraries and all to C sharp. We can consume that inside the C sharp to create a desktop application maybe, or mobile or web, any. Okay. And last thing is the tools. The tools which we require to start with the .NET or writing a code. We can use Visual Studio, right? Visual Studio, any 2000, let's say 19, 2022, we can use any Visual Studio. So everything with Visual Studio is basically IDE. IDE is like integrated development environment. So we
Mm,
can write C sharp code in Notepad as well. Then we have to manually pass this C sharp code to the compiler. Compiler will compile the code. Then finally, we again need to, do the manual setup to fetch the output, right? So this is like we can say this is the whole manual part and manual steps. So IDE basically like it's an integrated development environment. So everything is already integrated in this tool. So we can quickly start writing code, C sharp code inside IDE, and we don't need to execute manual command. We just need to hit buttons. It will compile the code, and finally it will like provide the output on console window, or it's a deck. If it is web application, it will like provide open the browser itself.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. So right now I let me open a Visual Studio. Can you see my Visual Studio screen?
Oh, no, I think I have shared only the notepad, not
Oh,
the entire screen.
okay. 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 Let me change it. Can you see the
Yes, I
screen
can
now?
see now.
Okay. So right now I have like already installed Visual Studio 2020 2019.
Mhm,
Okay, you can use the latest one as well. So so yeah, so for the learning purpose you can like use the community edition.
mhm.
Do you already have installed?
Yeah, I have
Uh,
one, but then it's in my Mac, so it's like a complete different UI. So
okay,
that is
okay,
stopping me for doing any kind of work.
okay, okay,
Yeah, I was thinking to get one, probably next week, a Windows one.
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. So, so you can download the latest one from the Microsoft site. I'll share the
Mm,
link. You
mm,
can install the community edition. We have like enterprise level edition as well or developer edition as well, but that is like paid version. So
yeah.
you can start with the community one. So it is totally free and like it's provide almost everything which we required for the learning purpose.
Okay.
Okay, so let me start with the console application. I'll give you like the some idea about like C# code in using a
Mm,
console application.
mhm.
Okay, so this is Visual Studio 2019. Here we have like create a new project. So I said, it's a IDE. So here we can use any kind of application. If you want to create a class libraries, your custom class library, you can do that. You can create a .NET Core application as well, a .NET framework only on .NET framework based application, web application using a VB or a C sharp, anything. So right now we are going to create cons sorry console application. So here we have the language options as well. You can choose any language like C sharp, C++, F sharp, right? Python you want to write a code. Okay, the platform means to say you want to create a like application for Android. Even you can create an Android application using C sharp as well. So, right, you can select the platform for Linux, Windows, Xbox for the gaming. This is for like the type of application you want to create, a web application, mobile application, libraries, or web services, right? So right now we are looking for console application. Okay, so this is a console. Okay. Here you can see we have like option like C sharp, Linux, Mac, Windows, and console. So if I choose this one, so which framework will be like in background for this console application?
Oh, .NET Core.
Yeah, it is like written, it is .NET Core, or you can also do this by selecting framework 5 or 6.
Mm,
Okay. Okay. Uh, so right now I'm not going to select this one. I'm going to select console application .NET framework. Okay. This
okay.
is for Windows only. So here you
Mm,
can see C sharp, Windows, and console. It is execute on Windows only. Okay. So next. Okay. Let me say demo cons console application. So this is like simply like the location where we are going to store the actual code, that inside like one folder, then source and repos. Solution name will be this. You can change if you want, but normally it is like the same to as a project name. Okay, and this is like the framework you want to use for this application. So here like we have like 4, 4.1, 3. Okay, so I have the latest, like I said, that is 4.8. So you can use 4.8, 4.5, anyone. So we can choose anyone right now because it's like a simple console application. Great. Okay. So 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 we are using IDE. So this Visual Studio already created one file, named it as program.cs, and it already provided few line of codes. And here we have some options. You can see Solution Explorer. Solution Explorer basically like present your solution, your project. So this project basically containing like properties, references, app.config file and CS. We will like I will tell you what is properties and references app config, but right
Mm.
now we will just only focus on this program.cs. That is the main class right now.
Okay.
Okay. And let's say if you are not able to see this Solution Explorer, once you like open this Visual Studio, you can go on View and View. Here we have option Solution Explorer. Okay,
Mm.
just click, it will like open. There are further more things like the property tab is here, right? This will more relevant when we start using Windows application, right? Then we can see the property of particular control. Okay. And this is a Git tab. The changes you want to use a Git repo as well. Whatever you write, you want to push your changes on the Git repo. So you can integrate the Git with your Visual Studio,
Mm.
right? So you can take, let's say there is a team of five and they are working on the same projects or on a different task. And so what we can centralize the code using the Git, and they can integrate the Git with the Visual Studio. They can start writing their code, creating their classes, and push their changes and take the latest. Take latest means to say a second engineer write a code, they want to take their changes, then they can push, take the push of code. Sorry, take the latest, I mean.
Thanks.
Okay. So right now, just you need to focus on this Solution Explorer window.
Mm.
Okay, there is like one more, two more tabs, that is Toolbox. It's blank because it's a console application. When you start writing code in uh, web applications or Windows application, then this tool window will show you the tools like a button, menus, a label, text fields, and all. So you can
Mm.
use it from this toolbox. And the Server Explorer is like if you want to connect your application with any data. Okay, I think uh, in any like particular database, like as we said, we can use Microsoft SQL Server. So you want to connect with that, that connectivity can reflect here, or even the Azure as well. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me close that. Okay. Uh, to execute this code, we do not need to execute. I mean, commands manually anywhere. We have this start button here. You just need to click start. This platform Visual Studio compile your code and generate the output. Okay, let
Mm.
me do
Mm.
this. So right now, okay, see, you just see there is like a black screen, a console pop up, then immediately it get closed because there is nothing inside our code right
Nothing.
now.
Mm.
Right. So basically we just click uh, this IDE perform everything in background to generate the output. Okay.
Mm.
Let me write just one line of code here. That is console dot write line, and it said hello, and it said console dot read line. Okay, now let me again hit this start button. Or even in shortcut, you can press F5 from your keyboard. So here we can see the hello word as an output. So this is the console.writeLine command get executed, and I said hello. The same is printed on console window. Now, like the last time when I hit the start button, this console open and immediately get closed. But right now it's like holding the output right now. The reason is we just tried this console read line. So this is again a command or a statement. It's saying it's waiting on console. We supposed to write anything. It will read that. Maybe just press enter. Let me press enter. So it will immediately get closed. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So let me explain you this part first. What is using system? What is this namespace? Then class, static, void main, string args, and all. Okay. So using system is basically a namespace. Okay. Here you just over the mouse, you can see the namespace. So namespace is, we can say it's a predefined namespace we are just using. Uh, let me remove this. Let's say, okay.
Mhm.
So we have like a red line here. Okay, let me execute it again. See, so it's like giving me a building error. It's now my application is not able to build properly. There is some errors. So what is error is this? So right now compiler is not able to identify what is console. Console is basically a class, but from where it is coming from. Compiler is not able to identify this, the source for this console. So let
Mhm.
me write again using system. Okay. Once I write a using system means like we can say like this is predefined class library. Okay, we are using it. We are using its feature. Feature means to say the class console, and the write line is a method, and this method going to print whatever we pass inside the parameter on the console window. So we just write this command to write anything in console. We do not, create a lengthy code to write on console. So we reuse this functionality, and this
Mhm.
functionality is provided by system namespace. It's nothing. It's a library. Okay. Okay. Let me go inside this reference. Here you can see system.
Mhm.
Okay. So basically, we let me go inside this properties. Okay. So here you can see the version that is 4.0, and it's a global, we can say it's a global namespace. Okay. It's a assembly basically. It's a assembly file. The class library is basically we can say are the assemblies. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is predefined namespace, and here we are creating our custom namespace. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So this is like demo console application. We are creating a custom application, custom namespace. Okay. Inside we created one class name as program. So class is a keyword and program is it's like a name for the class. And here we have like a main method, static void main. What is static? Static means to say like we do not need to create instance for this method, to call this method. Means to say, let's say we have a class, this class, right? Inside this test
Mhm.
class, we have three methods, method one, method two, method three, right? Each method is performing different type of responsibility. Let's say this is adding record. Let's add the record. Two is like searching the record. Third is like deleting the record, right? Okay. Now I want to call add functionality. I mean, so say called M1 method. So to call this M1, I need to create the instance first.
Mhm.
Let's say obj equals new test. Then we can say obj dot M1,
Yeah.
right? Then it will execute the add functionality. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. When I said M1 is static, now I made M1 as a static method. In that case, this is a case one. In case two, I do not need to create instance for this method. I can
Mhm.
call like this test dot M1. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
So same case with like the main method. So main is predefined word. Okay, you cannot change it. You cannot make M small. If you let me try this. Let me let's control S and execute. See again error. So what kind of error it is? Let's understand. It's not a syntax error. It's a correct syntax is correct. We can create main. I mean with a small m method main, but there is a pre-requirement we can say in your application at least one main method should be there with a capital M. That is a pre-requirement, and
Mhm.
that main is basically your entry point for the application.
Okay.
Okay, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is the main entry point. So basically, when compilers start compiling your code, first it will look your main function. So program is not we can say predefined. You can rename this class to any name, but the main method should be there. Let's say if you create two classes, program one, program two, uh, the main method supposed to be there inside any of the class. Maybe
Mhm.
inside program one or program two. Let's say, let me say, I create class. Let me give another name, test, and I create here one method said static. Void is basically a return type. It's like tell us what kind of data this method going to return you. It can be integer, string, boolean. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's say console dot write line at record. Right. Okay. Let me just compile this one, execute this one. So we have like hello world, but not this add record,
Yeah.
because this M1 is like we created this M1 but not calling it,
Call. Yeah.
right? So let me, after hello, uh, let me call this one. So we just need to write test dot, okay, SS specifier is missing, public, okay. See, now we have add record,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, now let me change this to non-static. Okay, see, again we have a red line. So what it's saying, required for the non-static field. Reference object is required for non-static field or method. So we have this as M1 is non-static method. So we now need to create
Instance.
object for instance for this test class.
Mhm.
Okay,
So if
I will
we
tell you.
have static at class level, we just have to call the
Yes,
class name dot methods, right? We don't have to create an instance, right?
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I have one question for you.
Mm,
Yeah. Okay. Just like look at the first, the output. Okay, the same output.
mm,
So we will in future we will discuss what happen when we create the object, right? Object of the class. What is new basically, right?
mm,
And
mm,
when we create the instance uh, of any class, will it save in the heap memory or in a stack memory? Like we
mm,
will discuss in this in upcoming class. Okay, so here we see test is a class, program is a class, right?
mm, mm,
Okay, when I said, okay, without non-static. When I said M1, I want to call this M1, like system force me to create the object of test class, then I am able to call the M1, right?
mm,
Right? When I convert this to method, static method, now
mm.
system is saying we do not need to create any object. You just need to mention the name,
Yeah.
right? Okay, now this is like custom class or custom method. This is predefined method. I'm not calling main method from anywhere. Then how, like, who is calling main method? So main is the entry point. Who is calling the main method?
So when we execute this solution, so automatically the call will start from main. I mean, it executes from main.
Yeah, exactly. So if what, if I like change the static to non-static.
Mm,
Yep. Okay. Again, see, again error. Okay. It's like give me the previous output basically. I said yes, that's why.
mm,
I said no, then it will not give me the see. Does not contain a static main method. Like system is forcing to create main as a static method. Why?
yeah.
Right? Reason is again, okay, let me open the paint. In this scenario, let's say I execute these two line inside
Mm-hmm.
program class, right? I create this object and call the M1 and it will give me the output. But inside the program, we have main method as a static. Who is calling this, right? And it is
Mm,
static. So basically we have a compiler.
mm,
Compiler basically search for the main function with a capital M.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And why it is supposed to be static? Because we cannot provide instance or object of program class to compiler. Means to say we cannot provide, let's say, in case of test we create obj. In case of program p obj, we cannot pass this to compiler. You got my
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why, like, it is like we can say the main method supposed to be the static. If it is non-static, then in case we need to find how we can create the object of program class and pass to the compiler, then compiler able to make a call to the main function.
Yeah.
Okay. When it is static, compiler just need to identify where it is main method that is inside the program class, then it immediately call program.main. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is basically the reason why we make the function as a static, main as a
Okay.
static. And by default, it is public true, public method. So in our case, when I write like this static void main, so at this point system is not able to fetch or get m1 because it is not accessible,
Mm-hmm.
right? When I write public mean I increase the scope or increase the accessibility, then immediately system able to identify m1. So in case of main method, this is by default public.
Yeah.
Okay, this is by default. If I said private, okay, again in case of private, it is also executing. Check it. Okay, that is interesting. Case of private, it also calling. Hmm.
Because we're not calling the method anyway, right? It's a main
Uh,
method and the compiler is directly fetching it. So we are not even referring it or placing it anywhere.
yeah. So basically, my thought is compiler is an application,
Mm,
right? It's a application outside. We can say not a direct application. This is our application. This is a second application. If second
mm,
application want to access our application method, the method supposed to be a public. Then
mm.
method will be exposed to another application. If it is private, we cannot access that method outside the application.
Yeah,
Okay. So, but in case of private, I will like do some research on this. I will tell you what is the reason why in case of private is also compiler able to look
sure.
call it. Yeah. So, okay. I will see that. Okay. So this is all about like setting up Visual Studio, like a small, we understand piece of code as well. What is main method, program, a namespace. It's a predefined namespace. Okay. Any doubt till here?
No, 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 I'm good.
Okay. 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 Vivek, I think we will continue from here tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, okay,
I'm like wrapping up now.
okay.
Okay.
What
Thank
I'll
you.
do is I'll basically study all the C sharp programming, the basic concepts of C sharp programming, like variables, and loops, and some
Mhm.
stuff. So
Okay.
maybe you can start from link you or oops concept from tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll start with the ops concept. We will
Yeah.
discuss, we will do the
Mm,
touch base with the variables and classes, if else and all. Uh,
okay.
uh, like in term of discussion,
Okay. Okay.
okay?
Okay.
I'll like give you some scenarios and all, so we will discuss what is like best fit for that scenario.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Sure.
Vivek.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.